All right. Hello, my amazing fourth graders. Today we're going to be working on the fourth finger on the D string and also reviewing some G string notes and looking at bow distribution, which means how much bow are we going to use for every single note. So before we do that, I'd like to start with a G major scale. So it's the same fingering as the D major scale. It's just that we are going to start on the G string. Okay. So we're going to do this in the rhythm of my favorite fruit, and my favorite fruit is an apple. So we're going to do apple, apple. Okay, we're starting on the G string. So if you're a viola, it's the third string in, closest to your thumb on your left hand. Okay, and if you are a violin, it is the last and lowest string on your instrument. Okay, so we're going to do apple. All right, here we go together. Starting down bow. So we're going to pull away from our bodies. Okay, so mirror me. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. And come down. Nice job, friends. Double check and make sure that your thumb is bent, your first finger sleeps, and your pinky is king of the mountain. Excellent. All right, so now let's go on to our orchestra expressions book, and we're going to be using our fourth finger instead of open D. So we're on number 81, I believe. Let me just double check. I don't remember. Yes, 81. And so this is pentascales and arpeggio. So remember, a pentascale is a 5-note scale. All right. And this one, it's G, A, B, and C, and D. Okay. So those are the 5 notes, and arpeggio outlines the scale. So in part B, we have D, B, G, B, D, B, G, and then it repeats. Okay. So we do the A section twice. So if you make a mistake, you have a second chance. And then we move on to the B section and we do that twice. All right, friends, here we go. So I'm going to push play. Here we go. Instruments up. 1, 2, ready, go. Nice job, my friends. All right, let's move on to the next one. So we're going to start looking at number 94. So now we are going to talk about bow distribution. Okay. All right. So there are a couple of things that we're going to be looking at in this example. And I know that we went over this maybe before vacation or something like that. So just to remind you, LH stands for lower half of the bow. So lower half is towards the frog. So anywhere from the balance point to the frog, so about here. Okay. All right. Upper half is anything from the halfway point all the way to the tip. So that's the upper half of the bow. And your whole bow, or WB, is the entire thing. Okay. So for quarter notes, we're going to be using shorter bows. And for half notes, we're going to be using longer bows. All right. So if we looked at, let's see, if we looked at, well, let's go on. Let's go on to the next one because I think that one would be a little bit easier. Okay, so, all right. So this is the descending D major scale. All right, so pretty easy. You know all your notes of the D major scale. Now notice that LH is here, so that's the lower half of the bow. Then we have whole bows for our half notes right here. Then we have lower half, whole bows, lower half, whole bow, upper half, whole bow, upper half, whole bow. Okay, so we'll end at the frog. So, all right, so let's do this together and let's play along with our part. Here we go. All right, oh, that's 92. I'm going to slow that down to, let's do it at 75. Here we go. 1, 2, ID, go. Nice job, friends. Really, really good. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so this is called Suogon, and it's andante. Andante means slow. So we get to take our time with this. So notice we have lower half, whole bow, upper half, whole bow, lower half, whole bow, upper half, whole bow. So just try to use a whole bow when you have those half notes and shorter bows when you have those quarters. All right, so I'm going to slow this down just a little bit more. Okay. It starts on open D. All right. So the notes that you have here are D, E, or F sharp. All right. Instruments up. Here we go. One, two, ready, open D, go. Nice job, friends. All right. So let's go on to the next one. June, lovely June. It's not June yet, but it's close. Okay. So what this is that is a round, just like our D major scale, how we did it for our concert. The part one, which starts right here, would start at the beginning, and they would play all the way through. Part two, if you want to try this, starts at the beginning when part one gets here. Okay, so you have to wait 8 beats. But if you're not into that, that is totally okay. I am just going to play that melody and not do a round. But if you want a challenge, you can totally play it in a round with me. That's totally okay. All right, so I'm going to lower that tempo. All right, friends, so here we go. We're going to focus on the whole bows and the upper half and the lower half of your bow for those quarter notes. Okay. Notice that there are also down bows here. This would be a so down, up, and you don't have to do a retake. So just notice that all of the down bows start right after those rests. All right, so here we go, friends. Instruments up. We start on open D. It's a whole bow. Here we go. One, two, part one, go. Awesome. All right, let's go on to the next one, my friends. Here we go to the theme from the New World Symphony. So, for anyone who's heard this from Antonin Dvorak, he was a fantastic composer. And if you have the chance to listen to any of his music, I would definitely recommend it. And he wrote this theme actually when he came to the United States and he missed his home country of the Czech Republic. And that's where this theme comes from. It's so, so beautiful. All right. So here we go. And I'm going to slow this down again to 60. Okay. And use your fourth finger if you can. All right. I would definitely recommend that because then you don't have to switch strings. Why switch strings if you don't have to? Okay. Here we go, friends. All right. Instruments up. We start in F sharp. Here we go. 2. Ready, lower, half, go. Beautiful job, my friends. Hey, and Dory has reached level 8. Good job, Dory. Not sure what that is, but okay. Good job, Dory. All right. So we have do's and do days and half notes here with bow lifts. That's a weird place to put a bow lift, but usually the bow lift is in between the note and the rest, but in this case, it's almost over that note. I'm not sure why. Okay. So this one is a lot of fun. I do actually like this song a lot. All right, so here we go. We are going to slow this down a lot, okay, just so that we can get our rhythm and our bow lifts correct. All right, if you are not comfortable using your fourth finger yet, skip it. But when you get a little bit more familiar with this, not with this rhythm, but with this song, then you definitely want to add that fourth finger back in. All right, friends, here we go. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, F sharp, go. Great. Nice job, my friends. Really, really good. That's a lot of fun to play a little bit faster. All right, moving on to Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa. All right. So we are going to do the first and second ending. And the way that first and second endings work is that we're going to start at, once you get down to the second line, we go all the way through until the first ending. Once you get to here, we repeat back to that repeat sign. You play all the way through, then skip over the first ending and go right to the second ending. Okay? And I have a fun saying that I'll show you if you're still confused about first and second endings, and we'll talk about that next week. Just remind me. Okay, so I'm going to bring this this tempo down again. All right, because I want to make sure that you are comfortable with all of your bow changes and your counting. All right, so this goes to the highest note, which is your A. Which is either open A or fourth finger. If you use a fourth finger, then you don't have to switch strings. I challenge you, my friends. All right, here we go. Starting right from the beginning. Here we go. Even though it's allegro, we're playing it andante. Very, very slow. All right, instruments up. Here we go. Starting on open D. 2, ready, open D, go. I know that sounds kind of weird. So let's speed it up a little bit, okay? So we are going to speed it up to maybe 70. Let's see how fast that goes. Okay, here we go. So right from the beginning, you can do that a little bit faster. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, open, D, go. All right. So hopefully you remembered that second ending. I totally forgot about it. I will also be sending home your six tacto for this week. And I owe you stickers and beads. All right, my friends, I'll see you in the next video. And hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye.